Let's talk about expansion. I was recording this and I said, I really want to tell some people about this. It's so oomph. It's like that, sweet spot. It's called expansion. And I'm going to be recording it, but I also want to be talking to you. Is that okay? Thank you. You're so good like that. You're so good like that. Most of us spend our lives trying to win the approval of the very same people we chose from our non-physical vantage point to cause us the most expansion in our lives. What do I mean? Well, how do we expand? From contrast. And who are the best people to give us contrast? Our family members. Now, how do our family members give us contrast? Well, by misunderstanding us, trying to form us into their view of what it means to be happy and successful, by trying to teach us to take the safe path and to avoid all danger and to be good little boys and girls. And all of this in the best way they knew how. Yikes! And yet, after we've launched these massive rockets of desire, we still long for them to finally give us the green light of their approval before we'll allow ourselves to align with our expanded version of who we've become. The one that they helped us to create by not understanding us. We still want them to understand us before we'll give ourselves permission. Because we learned from a young age that, let me ask my mom. Well, Mom, do you think, Dad, is it okay? We learned to ask permission from our parents for so many years that when we finally look at our career and our life and our happiness, we go, secretly, Mom, is this okay with you, Dad? Or is it? And even if we say, I don't care, we're in the back of our mind going, but it'd be nice if you did approve. So I'm going to show you how this holding on to this parental approval basically can keep us stuck. Our families have already done their work by helping us to launch such amazing rockets of desire. Now, let's leave them out of it and just align with our expanded selves. They've taught us in many cases what we don't want. So let's just say, okay, thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. I'm going to go align with what I do want. That's my job. Are you getting it? I love the fact that my family doesn't get me. That's not their flipping job. I know they love me, but they don't get me. They look at me and say, when's Tim going to finally start getting it? I mean, we've all done it this way, but he doesn't seem to be getting the memo. They don't get me, and I've learned to love it that way because I stopped expecting them to get me. If all of a sudden my family was all liking my posts and going, you're green, I'd be like, oh, whoa. Now, I'm still open to the idea. I have nothing against it. But it's not my job to get them to approve of me. I've given the keys back to them. Now, I didn't choose a family that would get me. Now, I'm talking from our non-physical vantage point when we chose to come here. I didn't choose a family that would get me or a society that would get me. And let me tell you why. Every time that someone doesn't get me or get you, it gives me the opportunity to get me. Ooh. Every time someone doesn't give us what we want, it gives us the opportunity to say, now I need to choose to give myself what I want because they're not going to do it. And that choosing is what causes us to learn and causes us to be free from the approval of others. Because think about a world where everyone always said, yes, you're right, that's fine. Like we would melt, we would cease to exist. It's the very fact that people say, I don't like when you wear that gives us the chance to say, let me think. But I do. If everyone just said, yes, sir, yeah, oh, yes, you're great. We call those people yes men, yes women. And we kind of look at them as like sycophants, like, they don't have an opinion. They're just sucking up. So when people don't get us, it says, I guess I need to get me. and leave them out of it. Okay, continuing. It's your job to get you and nobody else's. Say that with me. It's my job to get me and nobody else's. Oh, very good, very good. I think you mean it. I really do. Now, you must be laughing by now, because this is just hilarious. How many years we've spent trying to get other people to understand us and support us and get us. If people would just support me, I could live my dreams. But they don't, so I'm just going to be miserable. But maybe someday, if I jump through enough hoops, they'll get me. Now, news alert. It's your job to get you and nobody else's. It's your job to line up with your desires and nobody else's. It's your job to live in a way that makes you happy and nobody else's. Period. Now, right now you're ROFLing. I know. You're R to the O to the F to the L-ing. Rolling on the floor laughing. For those of you who didn't know that. Oh, now I know you're laughing, crying tears of relief. Because it's always been so easy. It's my job to get me and nobody else's. It's my job to get me and nobody else's. It's my job to get me and nobody else's. So I think I'll just leave them all out of it. You know, it's my job to get me and nobody else's. It's my job to get me and nobody else's. It's my job to get me and nobody else's. So I think I'll just leave them all out of it. I said it's my job to get me and nobody else's. It's my job to get me and nobody else's. It's my job to get me and nobody else's. So I think I'll just leave them all out of it. I said I think I'll just leave them all out of it. I said I think I'll just leave them all out of it. Yeah, okay, enjoy. Anyway, now just a disclaimer, if your family was super duper awesome, always loved you, always supported you, you've obviously chosen a different route to get your expansion. And just so if the family thing doesn't work for you, just plug in employer or boyfriend or spouse or children, whatever. It's not really so much about the family, it's about leaving everyone else out of it. You feel me, dog? I think you do. Peace.